I'm a precursor this by saying, pray for these people to repent. Those who are prodigals, because, okay, so I was listening to Isaiah, and one of the things that just stood out is Elohim will not divide Judah. It won't take, it won't, I'm paraphrasing, it won't, Elohim will not allow basically his word to return void. He won't allow Judah to be divided. He won't allow things to thwart his prophecies. What was, is, and is to come, his plans and his future. But what I'm about to say is, I said I precursor this with pray for these or these ministries and these places and these people and these names, because Father, I lift them up to prayer unto you. Yesterday in the evening, I asked the Father, reveal if there are more people and there's more things, because remember the vision, the dream and vision that Elohim gave, visions, but in the dream also that he gave and the witnesses he gave, that he's doing everything all at once. That's kind of what's going on with personally, everything all at once. And he has been revealing and purging, and not only helping me to help purge, but purging the body and all of that stuff, but purging of my life. And which is why he has revealed at moments, he has revealed in moments for things in my life that I might have once been connected to or in agreement with. Remember when he kept revealing that when he was taking us to different places, and he was like, you would go here, or you'll be here, or to do this, or to volunteer, or to support this, or to go do street ministry, or to go, whatever he instructed us, we were being obedient to. But also then when he was showing, you say hello to a person, you shake hands, we were in an agreement, come out of those, any agreement that wasn't righteous. And even like I said, when I was a kid, when I was younger, this church that I went to, and the thing that they used to speak over themselves, even when they said they served Satan, the Father was showing like, come out of the agreement with everything that's not truth. That's what he's been purging. And it's been on all sides. So when he showed me things from educational institutions, political affiliations, different entities, governments, community programs, people, he has just been even purging my life even more, but not just my life, the body. He's showing that for the body. And remember, he was giving us revelation of taking us to these channels, and they were mimicking, and he was like giving us the whole reason you don't want to do that is because everyone is unique, and you're supposed to be unique. And if you are righteous, you're going to obey Elohim. But if you're like Saul, what is given to you will be snatched out of your hand. And Elohim cannot have people in positions as servants, as leaders, as different things who are gonna lead his people astray. So again, we were taken to that Heart of Ruth one yesterday, for example. And the reason I'm saying it is because the detriment. I was on there and I heard in the spirit, this channel is under demonic possession. And so, because as I was sitting there, and that's why I was like, reveal, there was all of this stuff happening in the spirit. And I was like, reveal other things. Ruach, reveal. I was like, if there's something else. But because it also took me to other places too. Remember when he revealed Nate? Remember Adam came up. Remember like the dream we had last night, or this morning, should we say. One of the things in the dream, the person kept speaking about peace and how they wanted everything to work together. And it was almost like I have a dream speech. Now, that reminded me of the organization founded by Dr. King and different things like that. But they were saying these things, and I woke up and I was like, I understand what they mean. But listen, remember, I prayed to the Father. Reveal. And remember, he answers immediately. So I know they get angry, and he have revealed Daniela. Remember in the dream with the blonde hair, like the woman in Spanish with the blonde hair. Her hair was a fake synthetic wig. That signified a woman's hair, as the scripture says, is her crown. But she had a fake synthetic wig on. And then the next time we saw it, it was black. So the reason we do those things is because when people don't know when they don't know warfare, remember he was revealing, he was taking off the layers of witchcraft, Christian, Hebraic, biblical, like just witchcraft and divinations against Elohim, sorcery, drug sorcery, like all of these different things. The man who called himself a sorcerer, the reason why we kept having to put the things that were coming up online was because they were monitoring. They were doing occult practices to receive the information from the people. Like, remember the organization where every day when we would go into a meeting, there would be the conversation about the things that we had in our household being brought up in the meeting. Like, I could be having conversations in my house, in my living room, and then I would get into a meeting. Every meeting this happened that I had with this one organization. And then when our emails were hacked and emails were stolen, and we have proof, you know what I mean? Or when people literally followed us to this cafe and then was talking about that fake couple and stuff, and talking about Georgetown and the trans community and all of this kind of stuff. Or the going to certain places and then nails in the tires and having to go to take a vehicle to the shop multiple times. I have records of that. Having people loiter and stalk and follow, like just different things where it's just like all of this stuff where he was like, this is why we have you to do around it. And yesterday we exposed what we posted online, and people thought that was threats. And it's like, that's where you have a perverse mindset that you think the truth, which is to set you free, is a threat. The word is truth. It's freedom. The truth is truth. It should set you free. So even in the dream that we had this morning, it was taken apart over West Side in this area, in this hilltop area, in this park area, which is where that group called the United Neighbors. So any people affiliated with that, Elohim has revealed certain people we know are not associated with, not in the deeps of, but he's also revealed people who were threatened before, and their lives were threatened, and they were put in the hospital. The dream we had also this morning included a person kept saying Masada Shalom, Masada Shalom. And I was like, the only place I know there's a ministry who used to have a farm called Masada Shalom. And I know that the female had publicly spoken about attacks of witchcraft in the past. In the past. I know Elohim, I was having a conversation about someone who had spoken out against that person or that ministry in the past. And there were people in those biblical communities talking about, well, you don't know what happened, that person's in, and because I was just like, well, I've heard, seen that the person visited Israel and different things like that. And people have been talking about come to Israel. And people have been talking about different entities and science, all of these just different demonic things. That we're not part of no world orders. We're not part of no eagle and eyes in the sky. We're not part of Illuminatis and none of these things. We're not part of Catholicism. We're not part of the Jesuit. We're not part of, what's it called? So even when the cardinals, and we understand that the Pope and Catholicism with references to the red and the cardinal, we are not associated with that. Third world orders and any of these 5% Scientology, none of that. But he had also revealed things, like I said, growing up this one church, and how it kept coming up in the spirit. It kept coming up serving Satan. He was our God. One day Elohim, it kept coming up. So he's like reminding of like, come out of agreement with these things that you know you weren't in agreement with and you didn't agree with, and maybe you didn't verbalize, and renounce that. On that, coming across that space, I was like, why you like take me? And then I just heard, in the spirit about how it's under demonic possession. And it was literally like all this confusion as I was on the channel, and I was literally praying as I'm in this, all this stuff coming, and I was just like, reveal more of these things. It's like also he revealed in a dream before, Jesse Jackson just being angry of things that were posted and said before with regard to this organization or community that we worked in, just different things like that. But it was Elohim is showing. He's been revealing the dross. He's been revealing the uncleanness. He's been revealing the things that were heard or said or around that are contrary to Elohim. It's some things we weren't even in agreement with. I'm not even in agreement with those people. The dream we had this morning also had Reverend Barber. I'm not even in agreement with this individual. The dream we had this morning also had these people who had their perspectives. One of my cousins, their perspective, and this person works in politics, and this person who works with this community, nonprofit and organization, their perspective on some of my other relatives, and trying to accuse them. Well, people aren't getting into heaven, but these people doing this and that in their lives. And I was like, Elohim has revealed people's hearts who are repentant and who are not. But also he's revealed who he's marked, who he said, just like he said Job was righteous. He already spoke that over Job. When he said Moses would be the one to deliver his people. Moses murdered, but he repented and didn't do it again. Also, these individuals have expressed to Elohim and expressed publicly and have not denied Elohim publicly. And they've also expressed that they understand. They're not denying truth. Like people who have tried to come up and argue with me about what is truth. The truth of, for example, when the scripture we read earlier about, it says, those who do these such things will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Galatians, I think it's 5:12. Revelations 22 and maybe 15. Those two witnesses. People have argued with us because they're like, you are not being kind, you're being mean, you're not walking in love. And we're like, love is going to give you where you're lacking. He adds, he gives, he pours. What is the relationship with the Father? Go into the Hebraic understanding. And this is why people are like, you're taking content and stuff. No, I'm not. I was not a part of these ministries. I'm not affiliated with them. I might have seen, and that's why he was also like, come out of agreement with things like, if you even saw something, although he probably brought about him for the case of like, there was a prophecy, and it's like, we didn't agree with the end time prophecy. However, I was looking at the astronomy because Elohim has showed me something about the astronomy before, about how like the positions of the luminaries are not what mankind says, because it's not even according to Hanach. And I had seen another witness of the luminaries not just being above but below and things like that too. So anyway, that's what I was like, things to pray about. The miracles, signs, and wonders. For me, it was a reference to the signs, even the luminaries of the signs, not the day and the hour that no man knows. But anyway, and then people coming to us of like, well, we want to work together, or saying those things, right? But not emailing and not contacting. It was like, you don't really want that. So even after the dream this morning, we even had a vision of Prophet X. So I was like, Father, also, you're revealing what's contrary to you, but also that it is people who might be watching. As we had a dream. We had this other dream last week. And there were people watching, and me and family and children, and they were watching. And they were making speculations based off of what they saw or heard, but they didn't have the whole matter. They didn't ask the questions. They didn't get depth. They didn't try to reason together. And he's like, that's what some people are trying to prove, that, oh, this is what we posted yesterday, this is a far reach. But they don't understand that there's literal multitude of other witnesses. We just weren't trying to put people on blast, but reveal what Elohim is giving us to reveal, as to be a warning and as to have details that allows a person to understand. So even in the next video, when we say specific names, it's because there were people who were like, oh, these people are basically you're judging them and condemning them. And we're like, no, we're not. We already said those who Elohim says are his. We're not speaking against them because he's already revealed what's in their heart. They've said it from their own mouths. They have not denied Elohim before man, and they haven't denied the word. They've even said from their mouth they understand. And so it's the same as they've agreed with what Messiah says in the Nazarene. When Messiah says, even those who don't believe it, they admit and acknowledge of what they do and they don't believe. That even, this is a beautiful view, that even allows the Shemaim to come to earth. It is a power in expressing and believing truth. Truth sets you free. The truth is the word. And when someone takes the account, they've agreed that they believe, what Messiah says or his word, that is truth. It's like, even when you're being a prodigal. Oh, look at that. Oh, the sun just shone. He just came out. Even if you're being a prodigal and you agree with Elohim's truth. You agree with Elohim's truth. There are people who have been like, this is why we can understand she makes everybody mad. This is why she's going to be destitute. We're not. That's why we did a word study on poor and stuff. Because the lies and the accusations against us. And we're like, we're not destitute. We're never going to be destitute. We never were destitute, and neither was Messiah. So when you come into agreement with a lie, the detriment that does, but when you agree with Elohim's word, and when you agree with truth, it keeps you free. And when people accuse us of suffering from mental abuse, it's like, no. Elohim reveals when people have sent occult works to, and then that's why we would express different in these moments, the evil and the deliberate trying to provoke to anger, because none of these individuals and none of anybody listening now has to watch this channel. But if you deliberately come to watch the channel to create discord and contention, to argue with us, to gossip about our life, or see gossip, or try to gossip, or try to slander, to do any of those things deliberately. Somebody was like, still talking about, I'm trying to teach you how to endure what you came here for. You don't know what we came here for. If you still won't accept the truth that we came here to obey Elohim no matter what, then you don't know what we came here for. And you are a disagreement and in discord, in rebellion to Elohim. When they brought up a camp helping for homes and stuff like that, it's like, he gave us a season of contributing and participating. That doesn't mean that that's another year, the year forward. Well, if he's saying the area he's purging, he brought up yesterday too about the cities on fire for their rebellion and their wickedness against him and stuff. Cities on fire. It's on this where I'm recording at right now, where the other notes are, so it's like I can't read everything out verbatim. But he's like, the city's on fire. Setting cities on fire was what he was talking about. Destroying the wicked ones. And then raising up and rebuilding anew. But it's also in line with what he's been saying about his word, wanting to pour out his ruach, saying about getting his house in order, saying about returning his prodigals. And then these people, like, these make speculations. It's about these children. It's about this and that. It's about you exposing yourself or exposing your family or these things and that things. No, Elohim is exposing these things and purging out the bloodline, purging out. It is really about his reign, his whole body. It's not just about, like, me as an individual or my family. It's about Elohim's family. And he's cleaning out his whole house. And he's like, I don't want and don't need and will not have occult works, witchcraft, contrary agreements, even in thought. He's like, even when you come past something, this is what he's giving me. Other people might not be in that position of the body where they need to be so detailed with Elohim, where he's asking them to be so detailed. With me, he's like, don't agree with that. This is demonic oppression going on, possession going on, literally in this channel. And people are like, oh, YouTube is demonic as a whole. Like, YouTube is demonic. You think that there's not other things going on in on other, what's it called, Father? Other social media platforms. Remember, Elohim said he's transferring the wealth of the wicked into the hands of the righteous. Remember, he said he's bringing calamity to his enemies. Remember, he said he's purging the evil from the midst of his people. Remember, he said he's getting his house in order. Remember, he said all of these things, and it's like, these are how he's doing these things. Remember, he said he's driving out little by little. It was like when people were saying, this is Nate's territory and all of these other things. And I'm just like, no. Elohim presides over all things. Elohim presides over, I'm going to just go for it. Elohim presides over everything. He's not here to, it's not ours. The earth is Elohim's and the fullness thereof. It's not ours, and we're not here to be arguing and contention. And that's where the other thing where it's like, people are like, well, you're not walking in love because that's not being kind and because you're angry. But Elohim puts the judgment upon somebody who's deliberately provoking you to anger. If somebody's deliberately sending occult works against you, occult works, and then trying to justify and say, well, you shouldn't release something about your life. You shouldn't let people know you have ever had a child. Or, I don't believe you had a child and you're not telling truth about, like, just the demonic things that people will say and do. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. Or you shouldn't show this about your whole family. This stuff is not just about, like, this kinfolk. Doesn't mean the people that you grew up with or you were raised with. And prophecies about births don't just involve them. Or prophecies about ones that Elohim has recognized as in the Shemaim or what have you. It's not just about the people you were raised with. And some blessings are of what he's birthing forth. It's all about Elohim and what his word says and his truth. And coming in agreement with him and his truth. And we spoke that too. Come into agreement with him. When you are trying to do a spell on somebody and they are provoked to anger because you're doing a spell against them, that unrighteousness is on the spellcaster. When you are sending curse, divination, sorcery to someone, and you provoke them, not to retaliate, but to respond and reveal what Elohim is saying. Reveal, because call this out. When I said reveal, 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 and he's like, and I'm like, and he showed me about the principality of gossip. And people like, it's slander. Yes, slander goes, but he said gossip. And the reason he said gossip is because I said, what is the root of all of these things? All of these commentary and people like speculations, like all of this. That was the other in line with the other dream, like I said from last week, where I was in the dream, there was children there and other things, and just all the speculations, and the people that were watching, and they were taking some things that were spoken or they saw, like this organization, like the woman who he revealed who was she was a witch. She was a witch. The Spanish woman, she was a witch. And she was seeing or hearing certain things, masking herself to be other individuals. The dream we had to this morning, there were people masking themselves as other people. In the other dream, some of the people from the politics were masking themselves. Some of the females were masking themselves as other people. Still showing up as females, but like their ethnicity, their size, and things about them will be different. There were other dreams. There's dreams where he's revealed the perspective of specific individuals, so we would see like this was what they were seeing. It was their eyes seeing this stuff. Like sometimes if it was my cousin, his eyes saw. So and so's best friend, what his eyes saw. He would show what, like, oh, this woman, what her eyes saw, what their thoughts were, what their hearts and intentions were. And then he would reveal, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm in the midst of it, watching what's going on. There are people who are watching you. He will reveal that in the dream, like these people in particular, people are the ones watching, trying to get information, trying to find out. These are the ones that are watching or taking a little bit and gossiping about it. So this is why we say some of the names, like I said, even of relatives in this next video coming, because there were accusations. Like you're coming against your own relatives, when we were like, this is a general message. Which is also why we said this channel was not for the people in the community we live in. It's not because they're like, oh, you didn't want to get caught. No, we don't have any problem as whatever Elohim wants to expose to the light, to put, to destroy Satan. He's destroying Satan and the works of Satan and raising up righteousness. We are agreement with what Elohim wants to do. So we're okay with whatever Elohim wants to do. But he was revealing that. These ideas and accusations against, oh, but you're talking about them. No, we're not. We're not talking about them. Two, Elohim is not condemning them to be in the wrong, because they have agreed and publicly acknowledged and agreed that he's true. They're not denying that he's the truth. They're not denying that his word is true. Even when people feel like if I'm living a lifestyle or habits and behaviors, the anger, when I've expressed the anger and why and where it's coming from in the root, and being provoked to anger, and it says with fathers don't provoke your children to anger, but even other people when they do those things on purpose. Like the accusations of, well, I've seen this and seen that. No, you've seen things that have not been utilized for over a year and a half. You've seen through your own eyes. If you only ever ask somebody to help you and they've contributed something twice through your time away or on a trip, does that mean that you're... Anyway, so we are so already exposed. Elohim has us dependent upon him. We're not dependent on a government, on a system, or a school, or a program, or a specific company, organization, job, people. He has placed people, specific family that we've been in agreement with for years, but according to biblical order. Now, in addition to that, Elohim spoke to me specifically about what he was doing, what he would be doing, and the dependency upon him, and what to be depending upon and expecting. That he wanted me to not, what did he say? To say not less of the world and be completely dependent on him. Remember, he kept giving you the song script victory, but what he highlighted for me specifically was he made me dependent. Elohim was making me dependent on him, which is why he's also purging all of this evil and dross in me, but also in the body. This is why this channel is specifically for those who Elohim has pointed out. It's not for any random individual and people that just like that dream are watching and taking things and deliberately distorting and deliberately taking it out of context. If you said Elohim told me to do this and they deliberately say, well, she said she was heaven sent, trying to distort and pervert it deliberately. Confusion of the adversary, deliberately evil work. Or if you have been in a sphere, whether that is corporate, whether that's politics, whether that's government in any form, whether that's healthcare, and you are so used to, it has been normalized and familiarized for people to not just expect the worst of one another, but to like, oh, they meant that. Not meant that in a wrong way, but like, some of the things we do are just like, you just, and it's like, why is your thought that that's what that meant? Like when we're saying the truth. Oh, you're threatening us. I'm not threatening you. I'm not threatening you when Elohim says his word is sure and true and will stand. And when we say, hey, Elohim, are you going to start exposing? We're talking to Elohim. And people take it out of context and take it out of as a threat. But now I guess so. You made us had us and planned for us to expose more things of light of the darkness. His issue is darkness. His issue is evil. The issue, the condemnation is to that which is wrong. Now you can't go around. We're not spreading hate. We already explained what hate was. Evil intent and what else, Father? Ill intent. We don't have an ill intent towards, even when we talked about the trans in this next video about the things that came up and the people that came up. Even we brought this up specifically from this dream. It's not ill intent. It's to love, because Elohim loves the soul. Elohim loves life. When we are speaking like this with boldness and authority and directness, even with the Kodesh fire, we're not outside of love. That's why Elohim is still Elohim's wisdom. Wisdom can't dwell with an unclean vessel. If Elohim is not with us and protecting us, a lot of the things there will be different account. Elohim's wisdom cannot come in. Revelation, he wouldn't be answering and heeding and all kinds of things, because he said he turns his face away from the wicked. Turns his face away from wicked, and other people have wanted us to be reproved. You're reproving incorrectly, and which is why he gave us these dreams and these visions and the revelations. Because you're calling Elohim's love for you to save your soul, to rid you of uncleanness, evil. And they're like, you're being mean to people. It's not being mean. You're doing occult work. There is no remorse for the wicked. We had to express the people, the things he revealed, the ministries he revealed. Why did he reveal them? Either because he said it's under demonic oppression or possession. People are like, that's your channel and you. It's like, no. The thing is, the truth sets free. So even when somebody tries to send occultism against you, it's not real. It's not true, because Elohim's word stands. So the truth will always defend itself. The truth will always overcome. The truth will always cancel out every lie and every fear. It's specifically not just truth, but specifically the truth of Elohim. He is truth. I said yesterday, here I'm in a car again. What is it about cars, Father? Where you're having a lot of people in these cars, 55, and your double numbers and your multiplication, 33 and 44. But specifically, so that Heart of Ruth channel, like, you, again, like he said, you showed us Daniela before. You showed us, and we had to address these things. Why? Because it was like, there was mimicking, and he was like, he wanted people to know, I want you to walk in what I've given you, not replicate. And then we've had other people who talked about money. It's a check yourself if you're like, you don't know your worth of your content. We do. But do you know the worth of being a disciple of Elohim? And sharing publicly whatever he tells you to share publicly, because he cares more about soul salvation. It doesn't mean that he's going to let people get away with stealing. He's not letting any ministries and any person get away with stealing ideas. When people are like, you took our content, we're like, no. If I didn't even put your stuff on here, and we put links to the witnesses that Elohim had us to put as a witness. If it was research on Google, if it was a YouTube link, if it was a clip and we kept your name in there, because of what they were saying about a specific thing, about organization, and check these organizations or why they believe or why they're convinced that they're following Elohim or they're not. And so it's for people to research and study themselves approved. And whatever else Elohim leads you to do. Whatever Elohim leads you to do. The other one, who else? You already had said it. And the other one, Ruth. The other one, Daniela. You are really revealing so much about that, Reverend, earlier. And still, like, some of these pastors and stuff, why they were offended, why they were like, oh, she's dangerous towards us. Because you're revealing the belief, because you're sharing the word, or the fullness of the word, the full context of something, or because you're not going to yield to being on their teams, even with the deliberate assaults to try to prevent you from posting something that Elohim wants you to post. Even with people trying to stay on top. Oh, remember when they were saying, Father, about you need to learn how things work around here. You need to stay in a child's place. There was so many people saying that. So many men. You need to stay in a child's place. Stay in a race. We were never in your race. Whether that was for the community, whether that was a relative, whether that was a sibling, whether that was a man's ministry who's on YouTube. Everything happening all that because he said he is purging. And when you go into the promise, and when you go to Elohim's territory in his house, his promised land, he drives out all of the stuff from the land. The enemies. Sit here while I make your enemies your footstool. And he's doing that. He's doing that. He also said there was a moment where there were some things he said he was allowing it because it's a thorn in the flesh. Some of it was sitting before your enemies at a table, and other people were like, you gonna watch me eat. He also, as we were listening to Isaiah, he was like, bring it down the high on a lowly place. Oh, the one other woman who said, I'm in a class with prophets. She came up to after the dream. And it was revealed that they're doing occult divinations, witchcraft, evil occultism too. She was a Christian channel. And we have to bring it up. Why? Because it's not because I'm trying to reprove you, but do people not understand the detriment of the cult on a life? You're literally already separated from Elohim. And then to have people come to you or come to your channel or come to your space, and Elohim is like, this is literally under demonic possession. Literally, he sent us to that. It wasn't as heavy as he had sent us there before, because it was a confirming of something. And then after that, that's when we started seeing like they mimicking what we were putting out there and studying. It was like, you're supposed to be you, not us. We're not flattered by it. It's not flattery. It's not flattery to Elohim. It's not honoring of Elohim. It's not honoring of yourself. And so the people are like, well, you don't know your value and this and that. Well, it's this person and you're never supposed to be with this person and you're never supposed to do this or do that. And we're like, we're supposed to do whatever Elohim instructs us to do. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. I'm scrolling through here to find that woman. I think it's this one right here. This one came up too, because it's like Elohim showing you coming out. And I had said to it, he's been showing me. Candy Nicole, is that what this is? Don't come out of agreement. Like renounce that, denounce that, not fear. And that's what other people are thinking, like, you're in fear. It's like, no. He literally showed immediately. I don't know. And that's why I said, man, Father, I don't know if other people have these giftings where they can sense in the Ruach the spirits. The spirits are things in attack of like the spirit of gossip, or the attack of occultism, mental bondage, demonic oppression. Like, oh, where they're like, you're falling for the trap. You're not spreading love. And earlier it was like, yeah, pray for your enemies. That's why he gave me to give them, to pray for them first. However, people must be heeded and mindful and aware. Like, he's making me mindful and aware, but Messiah says, are you going to stand around and watch evil swallow up the good? Are you going to see that people are working witchcraft and just allow people to go to them? Allow people not to warn them. Like with Noah, hey, there's a flood coming. If Elohim tells you there's a flood coming, are you now going to warn people? If Elohim tells you this space is under demonic oppression, are you going to warn people? Are you only going to save yourself? Are you only going to be like, okay, you told me, Elohim, and I'm out of here? Elohim has to reveal it to other people. Yes. You've been reminding me of restoration and revealing. And also, you constantly remind me of why you've placed a heart, like you said, to the people and like injustices and corruption. Like that, you don't want people to be led astray. Like that, for me, that is a huge part of the love. Like, why would you allow somebody who you care about? Because Elohim disciplines those he loves. Why would you allow your friend, your child to knowing someone? Elohim revealed to us the people in the community. People knew who these people were doing witchcraft, being witches. And they keep talking about snitches get stitches and stuff like that. And we're like, obviously not, because y'all are taking bribes. This is what he keeps bringing up, bribes. Remember the things we posted up there, Burns and McBribe? It's like the Burns of representing the Kodesh fire against bribes. It's people taking bribes. They keep talking about money, and he's like, forget the bribes. You talk about falling into all kinds of stuff and lasciviousness. But Elohim matters more. Elohim matters more. Your soul matters more than the love of money, which is the root of all evil. Money, it says money answers all things, but the love of money. And that's why you see over and over and over again what sustained Messiah and all his people. It wasn't coins. They had all kinds of currency and all kinds of, what's it called, Father? Resources. But it wasn't the coins that answered all things. It wasn't the gold even that answered all things. And I mean literal gold as a payment, form of payment, transfer. Anyway, y'all, like, Yahuah is amazing. He revealed these things. Let me see if there was one more. This other female. And I know, Father, is like, you brought about Judah. Like, you won't divide Judah and all that kind of stuff. And you all have certain people as representations of Judah. And you reveal things not for the sake of, oh, I'm calling you out, I want you to lose this and lose out, but because he wants the body to be cleaned, his bride to be cleansed. He doesn't want his daughters, which a lot of these females, he doesn't want any of us, me included, like, or the men and other people, the men leading women astray, the men whoring. He said in the scripture in Isaiah, it says, I'm not reprimanding, paraphrasing, I'm not reprimanding the daughters when they're going after whores, when they're going after men who is doing the whoring, when the man is the head, when the man is the one that I created and I made her to be his help meet. But I gave him the authority, yes, to them to have dominion together, but him to call the animals by name, and whatever he called them, that's what they were. I'm trying to find this other person. She said what her name was, but I forget what her channel is. But it's mindful. I already said before about what she kept saying, how she kept repeating the same thing. But anyway, it's because even if they get connected, even if they see on the back end and they watch this, or they're one of the people that subscribe, or they're sharing it with their other prophetic teams on YouTube, Elohim reveals this stuff again. Because are you going to choose to be Saul? Are you going to choose to be leading the people into occultism, witchcraft, agreeing with things against Elohim? No, he wants people to be saved. We're supposed to encourage one another to agree with Elohim, to agree with his truth, to agree with his righteousness, to be obedient unto him. Obedient unto him. He also brought up earlier, the narrow way. The narrow way is supposed to be for all of the people who enter into the kingdom. Messiah is the narrow way, and the first fruit is not supposed to just be for, a pastor or a Kohanim or the higher positions in the body. We're all supposed to be obedient. They went through the purging from Mitzrayim into the wilderness to know whether or not they will walk. He said he tests, not man. I'm not testing y'all. I'm not tempting you. And that's what men kept saying. You testing us. We're not testing you. Only Elohim tests you. We're not tempting you either. Only the adversary is trying to tempt you. If I'm being tested by Elohim, but whether or not I'm going to follow in his way, I'm following and obey him. I'm going to obey him. I'm going to obey him. When people are talking about, you can't stop me from taking your intellectual property, and people were like, and they were trying to say, like, is this ministry over here doing that? Is that man from that ministry who's listening to your messages and giving them out in his ministry? And other men, we just trying to show you deserve more than that. You shouldn't be. You must be with a beta. We'll come over here and da 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 da. Like, why would you, as if you were a child of Elohim, encourage anyone to go outside of what Elohim says is the union of Ruach? Ruach. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the inside. It doesn't matter even if I had a friend that was a prodigal, but Elohim said, I gave them a ministry, I called them, they're going to be doing this in 20 years, in 10 years. How many times did David not touch Saul? He said, because you were Elohim's anointed. Even though the rain was taken from you, even though you're son of disobedience, even though Elohim is reprimanding you, or even though whatever Elohim had him go through, and that which is to follow, even until then he was killed because he continued to walk in rebellion against Elohim. And it's like Elohim will not use witchcraft. This is what some people keep saying. You're experiencing this occult stuff because it's what you're doing, or Elohim's reprimanding you. It's Elohim reproving you. Elohim has no darkness in him at all. He's not evil and he's not a liar. So for somebody to try to tell you Elohim is the one working witchcraft on you, he's reproving you that way. He's reprimanding you. I'm not in agreement with that. That's not the word. That's not truth. So all in all, to say, seek the Father, remember to get it all from him, and remember to agree with what he says, obey him. Whatever he says is truth is truth. Whatever he said is not truth is not truth. And sometimes it's not the leaders of organizations. Sometimes it's not the people in organizations. The organization where as I said, we were going to meetings and they would be reciting things from what we were speaking about in our living room. People who have said to us, we're one with you. When the Bible said you can only be one. Through Acts, they were run because they all received the Ruach. You can't be one with people who you don't even walk together because y'all are not in agreement. They're agreeing in Orthodox Catholicism, atheism, Scientology, different things. And you agree with biblical Hebrew. You agree with the biblical full context of the word. You agree with the paleo versions of the scripture. You're not one. It's a lie. You haven't laid with that person, had intercourse with that person, had sex with that person. Elohim has not, or that group of people. Elohim did not make you one with them. If he tells you they don't have the Ruach immersion yet, or if you were a day old babe and you didn't have the Ruach yet, and he's like, you're not one in Ruach, you're not one in general, like, you're not one in flesh. And then people are like, you're proving that you're the... Elohim is revealing these things because if you were walking in the flesh, if you're walking in the flesh and giving over to the flesh and not having communication from Elohim, can you have communication from Elohim by walking in the flesh? Can he continually be giving you wisdom and revelation if you're not cleansed and if you're not in agreement with him? If you are divided from Elohim, can he be imparting to you? If you are divided from him and separated from him. The prodigal son. Was he hearing anything the father had to say when he was in a strange land, in a strange town, around strange people, doing strange things? Did he hear the father? Did he see the father? Did he have any interactions with the father when he was in a strange land, around strange people, doing strange things, believing strange things, operating in strange things, speaking in strange things. When he was immersed in what was strange, foreign to Elohim. So there's people, we call it out because the people, on YouTube, we have addressed this, and some people are like, have mercy on me. Like, no, it's going to mess up my business. I already have people coming against me, and it's going to come against me as far as my work as a leader in the community, whatever it was. And it's just like, we have to expose we hear you and we're praying for you, and we've forgiven, and we ask the Father to draw you into repentance. But the expose has to happen because people have to be reminded of why you have to not just guard your gates of things, but what you're eating and where you're eating from. He's a reminder of me of that. But also then why he takes me certain places, why he's driving out the enemies little by little. Little by little. Daily he is dismantling. Are you noticing that? I'm noticing it. Daily Elohim is dismantling and demolishing all of these idols. When he told me they're idol worshipers, all this kinds of stuff. I'm not just saying it's around me. If it, like he was showing, of the main thing of like anything that I have connected, come into agreement with, or even didn't disagree with, and openly disagree with, or say like, I'm not partaking in that. That's why I find myself continually now like, I don't agree with that. I'm not in alignment with that. I'm not in agreement with that. I'm not one with that. I'm not. No, I'm not a part of that. No, you're not. And people are like, you're my friend and you just want to. I'm not your friend. No, we are not friends. You don't know me. You're not connected to me, and I'm not connected to you. And so it's like, because it's that serious of what Elohim is doing in me anyway, it's that serious that there's no fear. There's just the knowing, like, this, honestly, that's why I'm like, do people have these gifts? Like, it feels disgusting in the Ruach. It feels like such an assault against the Ruach. The filth and the evil, it's like, it feels like a plague. The spiritual witchcraft, the curses, the demonic oppression, the principalities. If you experience what I experienced in the Ruach, you would not want to have nothing to do with it either. It literally exemplifies the scripture verse from the Psalms, flee from evil. Like, it's like if it tries to touch my pinky, my Ruach and my being is like, yeah, get that away from me. I don't want nothing to do with that. I want nothing to do with that. That's how disgusting all of this evil. That's why it gets me to the point of like being so vocal, being so direct, being so like explicit about it. And serious about it, because it's serious in my life. And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, it just filthy. It's like, it's so filthy. And I know people feel like that with regards to, oh, my kindness and my heart. And that's why I was like, if you're in a healing season, that's not what he's doing over here. He is slicing and dicing and cutting stuff up and putting it out and throwing the garbage away. So do not get yourself hurt by trying to come around here. You're going to get burned. He's burning everything that's chaff on this side. So you better not come around here if you don't want to get burned up. Because all of that stuff it's disgusting, and it's literally repulsive to us. In the Ruach. So this is why we take the time and love to explain to y'all, to make it clear, to pour out our heart. It's not we don't care. We don't care about evil. It's not we don't care about your soul. We don't care about that disgusting filth. So may Elohim be with you all and draw you all and continue lead you all and help all of his people. His word will be fulfilled. And I thank you, Father. Continue to have your way in Yahushua Mashiach. Shalom and be well. Peace and blessings.